All right, let's do this. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the VOD Squad. We're the show where we like to get together every once in a while and we talk about stuff that, like, happens on the internet. And what else do we
Wow.
talk about?
Wow, you are being so specific.
I am.
If it happens on the internet, we can talk about it, okay?
Can. Okay. If it happens on the internet.
Okay, well, I have so many more things I want to talk about suddenly. You've just widened the whole show.
Well,
man.
And this episode is brought to you by DHMO. No. No, we're the show that talks about streaming devices, streaming content, streaming providers, anything that allows you to watch that content that you absolutely love. So, I'm Clyde. Today I'm joined by Matthew Ross.
Hey, everybody.
And Jimmy Trammell.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Doing well.
I've been traveling a lot. I just got back to earlier today for just in time to get you guys on the show, so I'm really happy to be here.
Oh, I thought you were going to say just in time to get us a present.
Oh, you want presents too?
Now I'm going to be sad.
Okay, fine. Get your present.
Yeah. Luckily, that anime I watched earlier, like, got rid of all my tears. I don't have any left, so.
Oh, you'll have to tell us what one of that was later.
It took me by surprise.
Oh, yeah?
I was not expecting that, and it was.
Yeah, now I'm curious. You'll have to tell us later.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about that one. Maybe it'll end up on our list because you know what we're doing this week, right?
What are we doing this week?
Do you know, Jimmy? Because I know I'm asking. I'm not sure what we're doing.
Yeah, I know.
We're going to do a year in review, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, year in review.
That's what
the list is for.
Yeah, hey, it's the end of 2016.
Which means there's not much news.
They're taking out the trash. They're packing everything up, getting rid of the people that we don't need anymore. 2016,
throw the tree away.
We're on our way out. Yeah, there was probably some people that were caught kind of in the crossfire, but, you know.
Man, you're being harsh. It's true, though. My goodness. Oh, we can have discussions about the things.
Oh, man, this is the year that just, like, got rid of people.
It's sad. I'm so sad. It's sad, and I don't like hearing about this kind of stuff. But it happened this year.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that you gotta kind of.
Screw you, 2016. Go away.
For so many reasons.
For many ways. Go away. We're done with you.
It was like I swear, right from the beginning of 2016, I think starting with the Super Bowl would be like.
Oh man, I can't even remember the Super Bowl.
I don't know, but I don't know. But it seemed like right at the beginning this was the year that everything was going to go sideways. I mean, the Cubs won the World Series.
Well, yeah, I know. That's the one amazing thing. Go Chicago. Series. Good job, Chicago. I'm so happy for you. The rest of us are having a really bad year.
Yeah. So
just so you know. Sorry.
Well, what's going on in your guys' world? And anything new? No?
You want to go first?
You go first, Matt.
Okay. So I've just been traveling a lot. Had family to visit. Had people to see, had old workmates just to drop by and make sure that they're still kicking around, doing their thing. So a lot for me has been travel, going over the past, and visiting with friends and family. Christmas was a blast. My son was extremely happy with the 3DS he got from Santa this year, and so he's probably right now playing it somewhere. And he needs games.
Tell him to put down the DS and get back to school.
Not yet. He's got a couple more days.
Make him go. You work there.
No, man.
Make him go to your school.
He would so hate me. No, don't do it. Other than that, yeah, I'm finally winding down, finally trying to relax. I have to go back to work tomorrow, but it's cool. Everything's starting to go back to normal, and we'll see how far. Although I do have more company coming for the new year, so we'll see. It'll be good.
Yeah. What about you, Jimmy? You're home. That room looks familiar.
I'm finally home. Yes, I too have been on the road. Of course, I am on the road quite a lot, but same as Matt. Visiting family. I went up to Georgia, visited my parents, came back home. Spent actual Christmas Day here in West Palm Beach, and so we got to do that. Is just myself, my wife, and daughter. The three of us celebrated Christmas here together, so that was good. And I've been off all this time, off from work, and I'm off all this week, and I don't return back to work until next Tuesday, actually.
What are you doing? You're just like stuck sitting there going...
I'm catching up on all the shows that I haven't watched. Right?
Well, there's a lot to catch up on.
No kidding. Absolutely. Yeah, I was doing this review for the show. Right?
Yeah, and by the end of this episode, hopefully there's going to be a few more placed on your plate. But yeah, no, I mean, I basically spent the holiday weekend on the Australian schedule, apparently. Because I was waking up and going to bed at the same time as the resident Australians, like, oh, hey, Truckster's there. Truckster and SHN in the chat room. But, yeah. No, which means I was, like, going to sleep at, like, 6 in the morning and then, like, waking up at, like, 5 in the afternoon.
So why were you doing that? Just because...
I didn't have to go anywhere, and it was cold, and I didn't want to go outside.
Okay, there you go.
Yep. So I spent the weekend talking crap with the people hanging out in Diamond Club.
I have a rule of thumb. If I'm going to bed when the sun is coming up, I need to reset my schedule. And how I do that is that I don't go to bed until the sun goes back down the next day. And then I can go to bed. And then I wake up at a somewhat decent hour, and I'm kind of corrected again.
But when I've got 4 days off, I still, It started out Thursday night, and then I was just off all weekend.
Yeah, okay.
I just tell people I went to Australia.
Okay.
I went to Australia right here.
Yeah, you went to the Australia time zone in your head.
All right. Well, I guess. Do we have anything that we anything to like actually talk about that would contribute to the show rather than me just rambling on about my inconsistent?
I think it's possible we actually have a little bit of news, just a little bit.
What?
Just a little.
What happened?
Feed.
Yeah. All right. So we do have a couple of things to talk about. The first being that Hulu did a new licensing deal with Disney. They're getting over 50 new Disney movies in on the service. Which, if you read the article and all, I mean, Disney does hold like a 30% stake in Hulu already. So, but at least they did this deal with Hulu, and it seems I guess the newsworthy thing here is that Disney's actually going to fully get on board behind Hulu now that Hulu's doing better.
I'm surprised it took this long because, I mean,
we've
always seen a lot of Fox and NBC properties on Hulu. I mean, that's pretty much what Hulu is. It's just Fox and NBC shows with a smattering of ABC in there. And Yeah, and it wasn't until you mentioned this article that I realized, don't see much Disney on there other than some Disney XD shows that like my kids like to watch. But yeah, awesome. I know my kids will be excited to see more Disney stuff showing up on the Hulu.
Yeah, it looks like it's a bunch of the late 90s, early 2000 movies at first and a whole lot more after that. So
Hey?
That's great. I mean, the more ways to get those movies in the eyes of kids, and thus getting them to be loving Disney stuff. That's what they need to do. And it's probably was really inexpensive for them to get onto Hulu since they already own part of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the newest one was the Mulan movie, right? So that was the newest.
96, 97.
The most gruesome Disney movie ever. I mean, thousands of Huns died. 5,000 Huns died in that movie. 5,000 and like 13 or something like that. Somebody did the count. It's just mind-boggling, the body count in that movie.
So finally they've like surpassed the body count that it took to make Cruella's coat. All those Dalmatians.
Yeah, it's like wait. Okay, now I got it. Yeah, that definitely surpassed it. That's for certain.
All right. Well, what else do we have?
I have found just before the show, I was looking around to see if there was any other good news, and on cordcutternews.com they had a link to a review which they made for the Watch Air antenna with built-in Wi-Fi and DVR. This thing is a little all-in-one antenna that has a 60-mile range, and it basically is you place it somewhere inside your house. It has built-in Wi-Fi, so you just connect to it over your existing network. Has a built-in DVR. I don't know if it has a hard drive connected inside of it or not. And it already has apps for it to stream to Chromecast, Apple TV, Fire TV, Android, and iOS. And Roku is coming soon.
Huh.
So it basically is a little all-in-one box that does everything for a low price of $250, which isn't that low.
No, I was gonna say, the wheels are spinning. I was thinking, hey, maybe we need to check this out, but $250. We'll have to leave that up to Patreon.
I'm tempted. I mean, seriously, that thing. Sounds awesome,
dude. If you want to pick it up, I will give you all the moral support that you need.
I thank you. I appreciate
because
it
because I can't give you the financial support.
Morally, I feel supported. No, but so the cons I can see right away is it does have a big price tag on it. B, it looks like it only has one tuner in it, so it'll only re-record one thing at a time or watch one thing at a time.
Yeah.
And no Roku support yet. That sucks. Hopefully it'll be coming soon. But seriously, the 60-mile range, that's what I'm looking for. It'll get most of the stuff I'm looking for. And I don't know. It might be the perfect thing. Although
the one thing that kind of makes me a little wary is the built-in powered amplification.
Why does that bother?
Because it's not always good. Because the amplifier can make things bad if you've already got a good signal. So that would really come down to, can you bypass it? If it's not able to be turned off, then you're stuck in a situation where if it works, awesome. If it doesn't, you're out $250. But no, I definitely interested to find out what doesn't live up to the hype.
It's trying to be the complete package, and right now that's awesome. We need more stuff like this, especially for people who, like me, have never done over the air but want to. But in order to do it, I have to figure out my antenna, figure out how I'm going to record, or just watch plugged in my TV for at first. How I'm going to be able to stream that from whatever I am to whatever I want to. So that's an antenna, a Plex box, some type of home run TV thing from Silicon Dust. Already sounds complicated.
Or I can send you that extra TiVo that I have laying around with the lifetime service on it, and then you just go out and buy a Mohu Leaf.
All right. No, don't worry about it.
It's just sitting in a closet.
Is it a Romeo?
What's that? No, it's a TiVo HD. So it's a couple generations old, but
it can do HD.
Multiple tuners. It does like 1080i.
And that's all it is over the air, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. And it does do Netflix and certain apps very slowly, because that was the TiVo that I beta tested Netflix on. But yeah. But no, rock on. Yeah, I mean it's intriguing.
I'm totally intrigued. I don't know. It depends on how my Christmas gift card situation turns out to be. I might try it.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, I was trying to find a picture of the actual antenna. There is a picture
On Amazon's
of
website.
Oh, on Amazon. I was just looking at
Yeah.
this news. I saw there was a picture of a antenna on this website that the link went to, but I was like,
Yeah, that outdoor, that old ancient outdoor
well,
antenna
those are
you saw there.
actually those are back. Those are awesome. If you're lucky enough to have a house where they didn't tear it down in the like 90s, you are golden.
And you live in a community that's not HOA.
Yeah. Well, most likely, if that thing was already on your house, there is no HOA.
Yeah,
I'm reading on the
Otherwise, your house probably would have been demanded to be torn down and rebuilt at some point.
So I'm looking at the website for on Amazon. They're at the Amazon page for it. So apparently they have this GPS-based device that allows you to use your phone or your tablet to literally find in your house what direction to point it to get the good signal for the channel you want, which is kind of cool. Well, yeah, it's totally a gimmick, but sometimes that's what you need is a gimmick.
Well, and actually, because that was one of the perks of that new Mohu antenna service, which amazingly works with their Mohu antennas.
That's right.
But yeah, and I mean, because like AntennaWeb was hugely helpful when I was setting up an antenna in my house. I'm just using one of those flat leaves. It's up on the wall. I had to choose between all the stations and not CBS, or sometimes CBS and no other stations. And that's
well, I know which one you chose.
Yeah.
So just because you mentioned it, it was called Untangle.tv, the Mohu service.
That's right. Yeah, good call. Yeah, no, that thing looks it's interesting looking.
It's intriguing, and I am very much intrigued.
That's that is the cross upon which you crucify the cable.
It sure looks like it.
Well, it's more of a T, but
yeah, whatever. You could put something on top just to
yeah, yeah. Do cables bleed? Well, and I have been I avoided the news this week, so I think
there wasn't much.
Why? It's like something happened over the weekend that stole everybody's attention.
Yeah, there's some type of celebration that's going on. I don't understand what it's all about.
Like people were like hanging out with their family and
I did some of that. I don't know why. I think it has something to do with they want to see you once a year, and I don't know why. I don't know.
Well, if as long as it's only once a year, I think I could be okay with that. Well, moving on.
Then how come they have to do it the one time of the year when it's so hard to travel? I don't get it.
Well, you got to blame the Romans for that.
Okay.
They chose the date, and I don't think it snows in Rome.
All right. Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
darn right.
Then it was the Vatican City, no doubt about it.
But it was before Vatican, though. That was like there was still like Caesars and emperors and at that point.
Oh, you're talking about the calendar is what you mean.
No, I'm talking about the date, the actual date of Christmas being chosen was.
Yeah, well, it was the Romans, right? If you go back far enough, right? Christmas was traditionally celebrated on January 7th, right?
Yeah,
and then it was the Vatican City that it was actually some theologian scholars that said, well, January 7th was when baby Jesus was declared the Messiah, and it wasn't the actual birth of Jesus.
No.
Right.
Well, and
then so it was the Vatican City that later said, well, our best guess as to when he might have been born was December 25th. Right.
But
so they changed it.
Yeah, the whole reason that Christmas was placed in December in the first place was that's when Saturnalia, the pagan holiday, happened so that whoever was in charge of Rome at that time said, well, you know what? We need to celebrate something else. And it was kind of a replacement. But yeah, you know, that's maybe this was just a taste of Jimmy and my new podcast
This Week in Theology,
where we discuss the origins of Christmas. Tune in every Sunday evening as we discuss the origins of Christmas and the systematic replacement of pagan holiday celebrations.
Yes, there have been several of those.
Easter?
That's a pagan fertility holiday.
Oh wait, is that where the bunnies and the chickies
Eggs
come from?
And chickens and bunnies. Yeah.
What? All right. Well, you know, it's the end of the year, so as we were discussing offline when none of you could see us, we thought maybe it would be a good idea to maybe we'll discuss some of the things that happened this year. All of the crazy things that happened this year. Something must have happened in our realm that we like to talk about. So we bring you 2016 Year in Review. If I had thought ahead, I would have had some like funky music or something we could have danced.
Yeah, that's
yeah. Okay. Well, you know, working on those transitions, right?
We'll get this figured out one of these days. All right, well, let me
start. It's a real B grade show we got running on here. That's great.
I don't even think we worked our way up to B grade.
No, I'm aiming high.
Okay. Well, so hey guys, I'll start out this list, and we'll just start with the biggest hit. Matt, what do you think the biggest hit? What was the coolest thing that came out this year?
Well, I think the coolest thing that really took the market by storm, and really, especially for what we like to talk about here, is the introduction and the actually it might not even been this year. It might have just been it hit big this year. Sling TV really hit it off well this year.
No, it launched early in the year,
and it's just been a amazing process. Thank you, Dish Network, for deciding to go in both feet. And making a service that was inexpensive and gave us lots of good content to watch, even though it had limitations, even though no DVR, even though it had bumps at the beginning, and but it's been inexpensive, and it has been now a rock solid system and a decent guide. One thing we've always wanted out of all of our systems, that it's been very, very, very successful, and I think that all the things that came after it have to look at Sling TV for basically creating the model. So good job, Sling TV. That's what I say was the big hit for the year.
Yeah, I give them props because they weren't the first person to try it,
but
they were the first person to make it work.
Yeah.
Right.
What about you, Jimmy?
For me, I think one of the big hit of the year would be the Netflix originals, right? And the reason why I say that is, I mean, we've had Netflix originals, you know, for quite a while. I guess the really big first successful one was House of Cards,
yep.
Right? And so now we're 4 seasons into that now. And this year in 2016, the volume of originals that are coming out, and these originals, not only are they coming out in a lot of volume now, but the quality is really up there too. I would argue and say that the Netflix originals are rivaling, other traditional cable services such as HBO or Showtime.
I am waiting on, I can't wait for season 2 of F is for Family.
Okay, I have to watch that now.
Oh, Bill Burr. Oh. Especially if you grew up in the late 70s or early 80s. That's yeah. So.
Anyway, I'll check it out.
But no, as far as me, I think the biggest hit this year has been the emergence of VR. This is the year where VR finally got to a point where it can actually be a thing, not just like clunky lawnmower man ridiculousness from the 90s. It's, yeah, and if you have not tried it in one form or another, get out there, do it. Pause this video. You can come back to us later. Just go out right now and figure it out.
Go find the cheapest solution that works for you. That's cardboard usually, or something that works just like cardboard. Get a YouTube app on your phone or on your go find the 360 video. Hit that little cardboard button. Put it in your device. Enjoy a great video in three dimensions. It's great.
I was at the mall yesterday with my kids, and there was like an empty store that said VR Arcade. Somebody bought a Vive, set it up in there, and is charging people to play it. And there was people lined up to play it. And I said, capitalism. Good job, dude. Way to figure it out. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, and then maybe hopefully he'll earn enough money because that mall, all the stores are closing anyway, so earn enough money to buy another Vive and get the store next door. And then remember internet cafes?
Yeah, they're still around too.
Yeah.
They are.
All right.
In some places.
Like in Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like to charge per minute, so.
All right. Well, conversely to that, what do you guys think was the biggest flop?
Well, I got this one. The biggest flop, easily, in my opinion, is this amazing deal that was coming out. We announced it. It looked awesome. It's Plex announced that they were going to go ahead and make Plex Cloud. Plex Cloud is this cool service where we don't need to have a piece of hardware in your built house anymore to run the server. We'll run it in the cloud for $40 a year. Sounds cool. And you can connect it to any one of these great storage services. We're going to start on Amazon. Amazon for $60 a year give you unlimited storage. Wow, amazing. And then shortly afterwards, they said, well, we got it working with OnDrive and got it working with Google. We got it working with this, a couple of the other ones. I think Box.net, Dropbox, and but then they said, we can't really make it work with Amazon's cloud service. So happily, they said, if you signed up for the Amazon cloud service the same time that we announced it, you're early enough, you can cancel and get your money back. Still saving grace. But that being said, still the biggest flop the year. I mean, geez, how bad can it be to be? We probably had hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people buy into that. I don't know.
As a whole, I think they're gonna do okay.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fine. But it's that whole Amazon Plex connection being dropped out of the blue, and that was the only one that would work at first.
I blame Amazon. So, as I do on a regular basis. I blame Amazon.
I mean, Amazon's awesome for lots of things, but there's plenty of blame to go around there too. So,
yeah, just didn't make it happen this year, right? So, I mean, they advertised it would be this year, and I tend to agree with Matt. That they pretty much flopped on this year.
That was so horrible. I mean, I don't know if I remember reading what their article saying that we're never going to get it working in the current condition. So. I hope anybody out there who got their money back, because that sucked.
Yeah, that sucks. What about you, Jimmy?
Well, thinking back of everything that we discussed throughout the shows, I think probably the biggest flop was the PlayStation Vue, and not that it's really I'm not really saying that it's a bad service or anything. It's just that, and what makes me say that it was the biggest flop is just that horrible user interface that they had on there. And it just, was just really cumbersome to use. And the service itself, whenever you start a video and all worked fine, you start the video and it would do okay. And the quality of the video and all that was fine. It's just, navigating around that interface was the reason why I put it on the biggest flop.
And that's funny because I put it down there as the biggest flop too. And and it was, I mean, as a service, it's got potential.
Yes.
But not all the pieces are there. Right. And shortly after we all panned it, they lost Viacom. And which means I lost pretty much all incentive I may have had to put up with the deficiencies. So, Sony, you've got time. Get your act together. Hire some people that can make the thing right. And then we'll check it out again and hopefully give you a better review.
Okay, guys, come on. PlayStation Vue had its flaws, it had its warts, absolutely, but it was the first one to give you on in the cloud and DVR, and because of that, it is definitely not a flop. In fact, some people like Michael, who isn't here this week, loved the fact that they could record their stuff on it and not have to use it. I mean, for some things, was great. So I'm sorry, I don't think it was a flop. But you just got
to remember, this whole thing is a purely personal.
Fair enough.
Do not judge, and judge not, lest ye be judged yourself.
Oh, judge me all you want. That's fine. It's just.
I'll be the judge of that.
Yeah, you just. I think that they're probably. I mean, they did okay. I don't think it was as bad as you're making it sound. That being said, I totally understand.
I thought it was dreadful. I mean, the app is so bad. I don't even want to launch it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, for it to be a higher price than what you were talking about, Sling. Yeah, for the cost of it, and I mean, Sling TV, in my opinion, beat the pants off of it, and and for less money.
Yeah.
Right.
Now let's say PlayStation Vue, if it were $10, I could totally overlook. I could totally overlook the flaws. I remember when Netflix was horrible, but I was getting it for basically free with my Netflix account. So for a low enough price, you can overlook some pretty bad, deficiencies. But at that cost, no.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then, also this year, I had a big surprise in the fact they launched a new Android TV box. That was the Xiaomi Mi box. And then I went and I tried to buy one, and they were sold out. I ordered one from the website, and it took forever to get it because they were back ordered. Surprised. What about you guys? What was your biggest surprise of the year?
Well, first of all, on the Mi box, that was an excellent device, and I still like mine, and we need to have inexpensive, well-made Android TV boxes out there. I don't know why there haven't been any, except for the very expensive Shield. So
no, the Nexus player was the original.
But I couldn't get one, and it was I could get one if I wanted to spend $180 on one, $200 on one.
The Nexus player was only like that. Oh, you did, because you got in late. That's
I
see what you're saying. I was like, no, they were only like $99.
No, they weren't.
Originally,
so, that being said, I'm really happy that the Mi box came out. It really makes you think twice about buying the Chromecast Ultra because it does HD D as well. So, the 4K television. So that's what I had to say about that. But for me, the thing that surprised me the most was on my Android TV box, on my Mi box, flipping through all my little options, and I said, "Hey, Pluto TV. Hey, I remember hearing about that. Let's try it." We turn it on. Beautiful interface. Beautiful channel selection of really amazing different channels, not your traditional channels, but like internet TV channels. And flipping through that, oh look, IGN. I like IGN. Oh look, it's documentary TV, docu-TV. It's got all kinds of different stuff. And then I finally found the Mystery Science Theater 3000 TV channel. I got hooked. It was good. I left that on for a couple hours. That was good.
I prefer the Onion channel.
I don't think I found that one. I'll have to check and find for that. But anyways, that's great. It's free. This is amazing. Everybody should have this on in the background.
And that's what I was alluding to earlier, in the fact that Sling didn't create this. Pluto was really the first to the market with the streaming TV over the internet. They just didn't have the big names behind them.
They got decent
too many. No, they do, but they didn't have the big names that make the unwashed masses pay attention.
Right.
They got
For me, discovering Pluto TV has been my little wow, that's amazing. I really am super happy to have this service available to me
awesome.
all the time, anytime, anywhere I need it. It's great. I love it.
What about you, Jimmy?
For me, the big surprise of the year was Hulu. And the reason why I say Hulu is that what surprised me about it is how it's in my household, how it's become the go-to streaming service, right? I mean, used to it was Netflix, hands down. But now, this year in 2016, Hulu, I would say, is starting to rival Netflix. And me and my family and the shows that we watch, we're more and more starting to be won over by Hulu. And two, used to be annoyed by the commercials on Hulu, but now they have, I think starting this year, they started the commercial-free service. So ever since they introduced that, now all of a sudden, Hulu is catching more of our attention now.
Rock on. Yeah, I agree with you there. So then, when you guys are watching this stuff, what has been like your primary device, your favorite device to watch the content? Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
So for me, I've been watching a lot of stuff on my Mi Box, of course, and we have a Roku upstairs. But before we got the Mi Box, we ended up buying a Roku streaming stick. And the Roku streaming stick is as simple as a Roku, and it's very inexpensive. I've been very happy with this device, and is one I would recommend to almost anybody if they want to know how to get started into getting into any of this kind of stuff. For me, it is the right price, performance, and feature mix that I think everybody should, everybody should have one on any TV that doesn't have it, that you have any kind of streaming attached to it. This is the thing to do. Now, there are other ones like this, Roku Express and Express Plus, but the Roku streaming stick is now on sale because I get rid of it, even though they just came out with it earlier this year. So it's not that old.
It's the second generation they just came out with. Yeah.
Right. And the second generation one is $40 right now, $39.99. So go for it.
Absolutely. That should have been in everybody's stocking this year.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
What about you?
Too bad I didn't think about that before.
Hold on. Let me I believe the company starts with an A. Something you can eat. Am I close?
Right you are. Yes, my primary streaming device is an Apple TV, although I do have a Roku as well. It is in the fourth generation Apple TV. I have to say, it's really, really good to use. I mean, the interface is beautiful, easy to use. You have the Siri. Occasionally, I might use that. I don't use it that often, but occasionally I use that, and it works well. When you use it. Mm-hmm. But it's really well done. I mean, it works well, and then plus two, I own a lot of content from iTunes. Yeah, I've been an iTunes subscriber since 2004. So I have quite a lot of content in iTunes already. That has a lot to do with why I go the Apple TV route. I could easily go the Roku route as well, right? But
Roku isn't built on Unix. I know where your loyalties lie.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The reason why I'm a Mac guy is because of Unix, right? So
not Linux, Unix.
Unix, that's right. And
otherwise, he would be an Android guy.
Exactly. Yeah, no, you're exactly right.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, Apple TV. I mean, anybody thinking about getting one, I would recommend it. Especially the fourth generation. And if you do like to rent movies or buy movies from iTunes, obviously it's the one to use. And two, if you do have Apple devices in house, you can easily stream to that Apple TV as well. So yeah, my go-to streaming device is the Apple TV, and a close second to me would be the Roku.
Rock on.
Yeah.
I'm going to reserve my negative comments for a later date.
Yeah. See, this year I have been jumping around, partly because of the show. I went back to Android TV. I used the Fire TV stick. I have not sullied my house with an Apple TV, so I can't afford the shaman to come in and get the evil spirits out after I'm done with the sage. Is that what they do?
Wow.
But
I wasn't gonna go that harsh.
no, I'm just kidding.
Come on.
Jimmy knows I love him.
Oh yeah.
But no, I no matter what I've been using, I keep going back to the Roku, and I've got my Roku 4, and and then I've got the Roku stick in the kids' room. They never have to ask me any questions. They just find the stuff that they want, and it works. And that's all I want. All I want is everything I can get in one place, and it works. And that's why PlayStation View isn't on there anymore. All right. Well, then, on those devices, what service? What would you say is the best service of 2016?
I'll go. For me, the best service obviously is Netflix. Netflix is constantly running in our house. There's always something on Netflix for us to be watching and taking care and the streaming. So whether it's something we've been binging on that we haven't watched in a long time, this year for me, rewatched The West Wing, one of my favorite shows. I love that kind of show. Or if it's a new series we haven't seen before, lots of different dramas, comedies, action movies, kids shows. I mean, seriously, it's never not on in our house somewhere. So for me, easily Netflix is the show for me. It's the streaming service, excuse me.
Yeah. What about you, Jimmy?
And for me, I have to go back to Hulu again, right? I mean, Netflix, we still watch a lot of Netflix, but yeah, Hulu has really become the dominant service for us in our household. We watch other things. We watch Netflix. We have HBO Go, and or HBO Now. Sorry, get those two confused. We had that one. And we also have Amazon Prime. We watch that one too sometimes. But yeah, the go-to service here at my household is Hulu now. Just this year that became true, right? So,
yeah.
It is my favorite service this year.
And that's the thing, because up until recently, Hulu was always like a distant third, maybe. At best, was a distant third. It was where I would go to catch up on stuff if I had to. But something changed. Back in September, it was towards the end of the month, and Hulu said, hey, if you want to try the no commercials thing, I'm not paying for the no commercials. So, but hey, it's prorated. It's the end of the month. It was like less than $1. I was like, all right, whatever. I am now paying for it, and Hulu is now my primary place that I watch pretty much everything. And yeah, so surprisingly, Hulu has become my favorite service. And while we were,
what's the difference between paying for it with commercials and without? I think it's $4.
$3-ish, yeah.
$3 or $4 a month
it was
to
a
get
matter
no
of principle.
commercials.
I'm already paying for it.
Yes, I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's well worth it's worth $4 a month just to pay that $4 a month just to have the extra.
You won't
time.
even feel it. You won't even feel it.
Not at all.
Well, and I'll pause this right here because Jotman in the chat has a question. He wants to know: would you buy an Apple TV if it's the only iOS device that you own? What if you were Windows Android based?
I can answer that question. Yes. If you are also an iTunes subscriber, then yes, Apple TV would be what you'd want to view that on, right? Because
it really depends. Because I would go the opposite direction. Yeah, and say unless you've got like an iTunes library, which you would probably need other iOS devices to have. Like in my case,
not necessarily, because they make iTunes for Windows.
Yeah, but you can't. It's very difficult to watch a movie on that still.
Yeah, the only time that people really use iTunes on Windows is so they can access their iOS device.
And yell at
iPod
so
or
slow.
Yeah. But so I'd say, it really depends on the person, because like for me, I have nothing in the existing in the iOS universe. So I strictly just stay Windows, Android, because that's where my stuff is. But I use a Roku, which is neither Windows nor Android, just because it's easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, iTunes is made for Windows, and you can stream from any computer that runs iTunes, right, up to the Apple TV.
As Jotman points out, it is horrible.
Yeah,
it is the worst program. And that's one reason I've got this thing that I got for $5 because I wanted something in my glove box, but I can't even bring up.
No, when you say horrible, are you talking about iTunes or the streaming to Apple TV?
The iTunes app for Windows they've had like 10 years to fix it, and they haven't. They just keep adding more onto it. It keeps getting bigger and bigger. And
right.
And then, God forbid, you actually tell it where your music library is. Because then it goes and says, oh, I don't like anything about
I'll clean this up for you.
Properly curated titles and folders, and then just obliterates everything. And then you spend 6 months manually putting everything back.
Or just giving up. That's what I do.
No, there's an option that you have to select called consolidate.
But that's what I was saying. But you have to do that before you tell it where the music is. Otherwise, it just automatically does it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you have to disable that. It's automatically enabled to manage your everything.
Well, it gives you the option. It gives you the option to either consolidate it all in one place, or if you want to keep media files in 2 different places, you can choose to do that.
Yeah, no, because on Windows it doesn't. If it says, hey, where's your music at? It's just like, hey, where's your music at? No, it's cool. It's gonna be cool. Just tell me where your music is.
So
like, gotcha.
I have an opinion on whether or not you should get an Apple TV box if you do not have any other iOS devices in your household. Yes, you should do it if you want to become an iOS user, essentially. Yeah. You should do it if I like the Apple way of doing things. I like the fact that they seem to be really secure and they want to do a lot of the stuff for me. And maybe I'll get an iPhone. Maybe I'll go into that market. If that's kind of the way you're leaning, go for it. Because, that is actually their plan and their goal with it. But if you're not, it's going to cause some pain for you a little bit, in my opinion. Sorry. That's how I see it.
Yeah, no, and that's why I said it's not really a cut and dry answer. And any answer you get from someone is going to be based off of their own experiences. And, so if somebody really wants it, there's no reason you shouldn't. There is like no reason to say, no, don't get that. But they're very, unless you're already in the iTunes or iOS ecosystem, that would be the main reason to definitely get it.
That's how they got me, because I've been buying media ever since 2004, right? Yeah. And I don't want to go out and rebuy all that from some other platform.
Apple is not letting you play it on anything else, which makes it hard for you to move away, which is a stranglehold if you ask me. So,
and Amazon won't give me credit for my iTunes library. Right. So
no.
So I choose to just stick with that because it works as well, and I'm a Mac guy anyway, right? So
makes sense.
So it works well, and I would say at least on the Mac platform, it works as well as any other service out there, right? Not saying that it's better, right? I'm just saying it works as well as anything.
You don't have to feel defensive. It's a good It's good for what it is. It really is good for what it does. It's Not for me. It's the siloing that's bad. You can't use it anywhere else. It's a problem.
Well, I could say that about other services as well, right?
Sure, other ones, but those are also ones I don't use.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I try to use the ones that don't silo. So.
Right. Try to use Google Play on Fire TV.
And it doesn't work on Fire TV because Amazon doesn't allow it on, but it does work on Apple TV, believe it or not.
That it does.
So they tried really hard to be cross-platform. So that's where I went.
Yeah. Well, you know, and this brings me, this like brings us right into where one point we were going to get to in the fact that, you know, what was the most disappointing, you know, for you this year? What brought you the most sadness? And I'll start off because, as you mentioned, you know, I'm an Android user.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes perfect sense that I would use Android TV, right?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And this is my sadness because Android TV is just, it's still, I thought this was going to be the year that they would rise above. The platform's great. The content is just missing. And that's the stuff that I want is not there and that's the content owners that not deciding not to make an app. It's them. You know, it's not Android TV. It's not something that they did wrong. The platform's great, but I want to use it. I want to be in there, but I just can't because HBO's not there. Amazon's not there. I mean, HBO is there for certain people, but I can't authenticate because of Comcast. You know, and it yeah. So my ultimate sadness this year is that 2016 is not the year of Android TV.
I'm sorry. I wish it was.
Me too. Yeah. And that was one of the reasons I was really excited about the Mi Box. I was like, yay, new hardware. I can see what I've missed out on the last year. And it turns out, nothing. It's exactly where it was when I left it like almost 2 years ago. But what about you, Jimmy? What was your ultimate sadness this year?
My ultimate sadness for this year was data caps. And Comcast, I think at the end of November at the 1st of November, started imposing data caps, 1 terabyte. And if you're a streamer such as I am, well, you can get up, you know, to that cap quite easily some months, right? Maybe not every month, but some months you can get up to there. And we do here at my household. So yeah, finally imposing the data caps was a little bit of a sadness because, well, you're going to get hit with an overage fee if you go over that data cap, right? And as cord cutters and video streamers, right, that's something that affects everybody.
Yeah.
This is the eternal struggles ever since broadband came out, and it sucks. And it's getting in some ways better, in some ways worse. So the caps keep raising every once in a while, which is a good thing. Right. That's the beautiful thing. And it allows the ISPs at least some control over the really crazy people who are streaming and sending way too much data. Now, that being said, they're paying for it. Why can't they get it, right? So, but if they're affecting other customers, that's when it makes sense for you to start figuring out how to modify that stream, post stream, so it's not so bad.
And as we've talked about before, if the data caps end up being something that worries you, you can do like I did and go to business class where there is no data restriction.
Pay extra.
So, I mean, there are options. I pay extra to not have to worry about it. And
that's awesome.
Also get better SLA, which
from
a better level of service from Comcast is a huge
better level of service from Comcast is a slightly lower bar.
You either start out here in residential or you go like here in business. It's like that's you know that extra like $50 more that I pay a month gets you that much. But yeah, and I'm happy. Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody's got different needs. Everybody's got different opinions and do whatever works best for you. That's
Right.
all you can really say.
Well, hopefully that as things continue in the future, we move away from the data cap model, and it would be nice if we moved into a more, you are given so much, a month, and then after that you have a very sane amount of money to spend for going over an amount. Like, hey, for every gig you go over, it's 10 cents, which, okay, if I spend 44 extra gigs and spend 40 cents or something like that, that'd be great. I wouldn't mind that. But, that's just talking common sense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And
it's a cable company. That's just common sense doesn't work.
it depends. When you're talking to the business side.
Yeah, but whatever.
No, residential side. No. There is no common sense. Yeah. All right. Well, we can start to wrap this up. Two more. We'll do the favorite show.
What about my sadness?
Oh, I thought you did. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't do it. Didn't do his.
Okay. No, you don't get a sadness. You live in
Sadness
Washington, the land of perpetual sadness.
I got skipped.
Oh wait, no, that's just okay. Go ahead.
My sadness is not exactly a cord-cutting story, but it's something that it's been happening this year, and it's just gotten worse and worse as the year's gone on. Yahoo.com has been hacked at least twice, probably 3 times this year, with huge hacks with all the different accounts. And the most recent one was a hack of 1 billion accounts, which is a lot. And they got everything, including passwords that are hashed in MD5 hash, which nowadays is not that hard to crack. So essentially, it's clear text at this point.
And the sad thing is, Yahoo has not once sent me anything to say, hey, your account may have been compromised. That explains why there is a Facebook account out there with my Yahoo email attached to it. And I keep shutting it down.
Used to be an amazing, internet startup, and everybody, all my family members have have Yahoo email accounts. I still used to have, and I've abandoned it, and I'm sure it's been.
I have one. I just don't use it because I can't. They don't let you change the name. I just want to change it.
So here's the thing. I have family members who still have Yahoo accounts, and I say, you should not be on Yahoo anymore. And they look at me and say, why? And I say, because it's been completely hacked in every way, shape, or form. I guarantee you, whatever password you've got right now, it's probably well known. And everything that uses, because people reuse passwords, everything you've ever put that password, you should probably change the password on that too, which is not easy, I know, but just abandon Yahoo. It's so bad right now.
Get them set up on LastPass.
What I'm curious about it is, did they know about this hacking before or after the Verizon deal?
So they actually knew about some of them before the Verizon deal, and the Verizon deal didn't finish. They're still talking about it, and the price apparently has been going down because Verizon's been looking at this and going, "Are we paying for that much for this? I don't know. We can pay that much. Let's pay less." The deal hasn't gone through yet, so Verizon might not buy them. Now, I think that it's possible Verizon could buy them, clean up that act. Just Yahoo Mail, which I'm sure makes millions of dollars in advertisement every day, and Yahoo News and some of those other Yahoo properties like Yahoo Sports and Stocks, which are very, very popular. I bet you if you cleaned those up and you made that work, I'm sure it'd be okay. But that being said, it's so screwed up right now. You got to go away from Yahoo. I mean, please save yourselves. It's a sinking ship.
Yeah, and that I would have put Yahoo on my sadness list, except Yahoo Stream was last year.
Yeah.
That was 2015 because there was some great stuff on there.
That's
Sin
true.
City Saints was awesome. That Other Space, the Paul Feig show, was brilliant, and obviously Community.
Yeah.
But
Saturday Night Live.
I don't care about that. But no,
well, it was a good try.
Yeah, the problem with that Yahoo Stream was I couldn't figure out. It took me forever to figure out how do I watch it. If
Right.
I can't figure it out,
Nobody else is going
can't
to.
figure it out. Nobody else is going to figure it out.
Right.
Right.
And I finally figured out that, there's a app on my TiVo. Okay. Yeah, I was going to go look on my TiVo.
That's the place to look for an app, right?
Yeah, apparently, like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
All right. Well, but then again, it is Yahoo. That should have been, what would I have done 5 years ago? That's what I should have done first. Thank you. I now figured out where I went wrong. All right. Wrap this up. What do we have? Favorite shows of this year.
You want to go first, Clyde?
Whoever.
For me, it was Mr. Robot.
I never made it through season 1.
I went partway through season 1 too, and I really enjoyed it. I had to stop because I was busy doing something else, and it's one of those shows starting to hook me in. And when I get hooked, I can't stop watching. So, I want to go back to it. Evil Corp sound. I want to go.
Oh yeah,
I want to watch all this Evil Corp stuff. It looks great.
Oh, you definitely. If you've not, I won't spoil it for you. Season 2, picks up right where season 1 left off, and
I've listened.
You just continue down the journey, and I'll have to say there. I will say I won't spoil anything, but I'll just say it'll keep you interested all the way to the end. And when you get to the end, there'll be a surprise.
You can't spoil anything that Tom and Brian haven't already, because I do listen to Spoiler in Time every week, even if I haven't watched the show yet.
I don't.
Ooh, Jotman says he's currently binge watching Nurse Jackie and House MD. Both,
Nurse Jackie.
Absolutely yes. Hugh Laurie was amazing but Jotman, after you're done watching all of House MD and you are now familiar with Hugh Laurie, go back. There is a show that he stars in called 30 something, or it was it's a British show, not the 30 something from the US, or 40 something, I think it was. Sorry, 40 something. Watch that and you will go, wait, this is Hugh Laurie?
Right.
It's British and it's funny. And
he was in the first season of MI5 too, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. But no, rock
for
on.
Me,
Matt.
My favorite show of this year has been The Last Ship, which is a show on TNT, and I've every time that came on this year, I like a good naval strategy show with a little bit of politics built in. So because I like things, the West Wing, as I said earlier, is one of my favorite shows. Yeah. Just enough politics in that one, but still enough of like a Red October style maneuvering and trying to figure out what's going on. And then you have some guys kicking ass generally. Yeah. It's a good show. I actually really liked it. I was surprised how much I liked it.
My brother-in-law keeps telling me to watch it, probably because it's like set on a Navy ship.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the main reason I can't watch it, is because I lived like 8 years on Navy ships.
You don't want to relive any of that.
No, it's not that. Those were some of the best years of my life. It's the fact that when you know something and you just go, you can't get into it because it's like, that's wrong. That even doesn't even belong on a uniform. Okay. What is that thing? And
I don't know how accurate it is, but from my point of view, it seems really well made. Seems like they're trying to be fairly accurate.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot. So it was my show of the year so far. Yeah, I actually had another Navy buddy who I said, you should be watching The Last Ship. And he goes, oh yeah, where can I watch it? It's on Hulu, so go watch it.
Yeah, maybe I'll check it out. I jumped into Dirk Gently's holistic detective agency last week. I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea. And holy crap, I literally watched it one episode after another in one sitting.
Oh my.
It was amazing. And I'm sorry if that builds it up too much, but anybody that hasn't watched it, if you are a fan of Doctor Who, more specifically Matt Smith Doctor Who, and you have a passable knowledge of like Hitchhikers of the Guide to the Galaxy, you'll probably like the show because it's a little bit of both. It's clearly written. You know, the dialogue was very, very Douglas Adams. They did a good job of putting his voice into the show. So, yeah, if any of those words made any sense to you, you should be watching it right now.
I have a friend who was a big fan of Dirk Gently. He's always saying, you need to read this book. It's really good. And so maybe I'll pick up the series. I'm interested. I'm interested.
I went back because of this show. I looked to see how many were there. And the final Dirk Gently book never got finished because he died.
Yeah.
But in the process, there was a whole bunch that he wrote for the Dirk Gently, and he said, no, this belongs in Hitchhikers. And so he took it out and to be in and so, I mean, that gives you an idea of, you know, the Dirk Gently stuff. So that if he can take stuff written for Dirk Gently and say, nope, it is now Hitchhiker. Yeah. So.
Gotcha.
And then that brings us to the worst show. What was the worst show of 2016?
I'll start with it. Yeah. In a way, I kind of hate saying it because I am a big science fiction fan, right? But the worst show for me in 2016 was 12 Monkeys, right, on the Sci-Fi Channel. Yeah. And I got about 7 episodes into it. Tried to hang with it, but just completely lost interest. And it had some decent actors in it. The plot was good. I mean, it's based on the movie that they made several years ago, and but I don't know. It just could not keep my interest, you know, and that says a lot, you know, being as I'm a big science fiction fan.
And I will agree with you there because I went into the first episode kind of excited because the movie, the original movie, had so much potential. You could see exactly where the studio kind of probably stepped in and ruined it. But the vision was there, and I was excited to see the expanded, you know, vision. I made it through the first episode, maybe through the second episode, and have never gone back. So,
yeah.
What about you, Matt?
So for me, I have a hard time finding shows I don't like because I'm kind of like that guy who says, "Oh, well, that seems interesting. I'll watch this." And yeah, I watched it. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. It's okay. Right. The one show that I can think of that we just said, "What do we want to watch?" Oh, we flip. Okay, let's try this out. We only watched 1 episode and it wasn't good enough for us to kind of go, let's try another one. It was just a little too weird. Was the Shannara Chronicles on MTV. Shannara Chronicles, pardon me. It's post-apocalyptic fantasy somehow. I mean, we got deep enough into it to understand all of how that works.
I don't think this show actually explains that. That's why I was saying I read the book, The Sword of Shannara, and that's where I figured stuff out because the book was great.
The show itself was, you know, you got a tree that you talk to and you see visions, and you have multiple people multiple different storylines happening that, and pretty much in no way, shape, or form have met up yet. So it's very disjointed, and you have an unknown bad guy that's just come out of I mean, it really didn't feel like there was any connectivity to the show at all in that first episode. I'm sure if I powered through several episodes, it'd probably get better. But it wasn't enough for me to really give it another shot. So it's like,
I think their biggest problem was it was an MTV production. And unfortunately, I think that was part of it because I like I told you before the show. After hearing Paul Thurrott go on and on and on about the Sword of Shannara, I bought the book and then I listened to it on Audible, and the book was amazing. I've never liked fantasy. I could never get into it, but that book was awesome. I mean, clearly the dude, well, he wrote it in the 70s, and he clearly probably ripped off, the Lord of the Rings stuff a little bit, but
That's
whatever.
fine.
So, I mean, the fact that I love that book, when I saw that TV show was coming, I said, ooh, I'm going to watch this. And I went into it excited, and I didn't even make it through the second episode. So that tells you a lot right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think it happens before the book, but I'm not quite sure. But no, if you want a good fantasy read or listen, The Sword of Shannara is really good. I was gonna say, I put a lot of thought into the worst show, and there were so many things on the list, but I gotta say, I think the worst show of 2016 is the VOD Squad.
What?
I mean, but you don't want to give them too much credit. You got to start someplace, right? You got to start. You can't start at the top. But
I think I've heard of that show.
Yeah, I know. A few people have heard of it, and they're all cursing us. I think they cut some dead weight, get rid of the dude with the long hair, and then they probably got a promising future. But until then, yeah.
The dude with the long hair.
And you got the guy with the crappy microphone and the light in the background. So,
Michael's not here.
No.
No.
No, isn't that the guy whose power keeps going out?
Oh yeah, he's the one with the crappy power. And then the guy that's never at home.
Right. The guy
always on the road. Always
from the hotel rooms, right?
What's up with this show?
Yeah, well, hey, yeah, we should probably get this on the road. Yeah, unless you guys have anything else you want to add to that, honorable mentions or anything, no? Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
It's been a long year.
It's been a long night.
This year, this year can go away.
I'm going to hang on. Well, you know what? We are going to celebrate. We are going to celebrate the end of the year here.
I'm so into
on Diamond Club TV for 26 hours. We will be celebrating the new year through every time zone around the world. There will be someone streaming right here on Diamond Club TV on Channel 1 in the chat room, and there will also be raising money for a good cause, which I should probably look up before I do a stream, what exactly we're raising money for. But
we're giving somebody some money.
We're raising money through extralife.org. Which is
right.
what a lot of the gamers use to play games and raise money. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I will have a spot. Actually, I need to talk to you, Jimmy, see if you want to hang out. But if we are available, if you guys want to do a VOD Squad something, we've got the 8:30 Eastern to 9:30 Eastern slot. And then I will be doing another movie party at, I think that's 1:30. Yeah, 1:30 Central, so 2:30 Eastern to 4:30 Eastern. I will be online. We will be watching Yoga Hosers. We will be having fun. But like I said, anybody, if you don't have anything to do, nobody to talk to, you're just feeling like, meh, don't want to socialize, turn on Diamond Club TV, hop in the chat room. There will be somebody right there awaiting your call anytime. So yeah, no, everybody wants to come out. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys got anything else you want to shout out? No?
Not this time. No.
Yeah, next week, don't kind of know what we're going to do. It's kind of up in the air because I will be either in Vegas or LA. I'm not quite sure yet. Heading out for CES. Michael will be in the air. And even if I am on the internet, I don't know what we're going to do about switching. I need to talk to somebody and see if we can get some help. But We will figure that out if you guys tune in next week and we are not here. Come back another week.
Sure.
We'll be back. But awesome. Yeah, dude. Guys, thanks for hanging out. Jomon, chat room, thanks.
Yep.
Cool talking with you. I think we are going to get out of here. Try out this new outro.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Maybe.